It's time for Living with Victory, a program of hope and encouragement brought to you by Friends of Compassion and listeners like you. Now, here are your hosts, Tony and Laureen Giorgio, with today's message of perseverance.
Jesus is with me when the storm clouds gather, when the winds of this world are blowing strong.
Welcome to Living with Victory, proving life isn't about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain, giving you peace, power, and joy through perseverance and faith, above all, in Jesus Christ. Hey, a quick reminder today, you can email us your comments, and we'd love to hear from you at livingwithvictory@gmail.com. That's livingwithvictory@gmail.com. Or, hey, if you want to call us, hey, that's great. Call us at 828-926-4600. At the end of the program, our announcer, Tim Hodges, will have additional contact information. With no further delay, I want to introduce my wonderful sidekick of the last 45 years, who needs a Purple Heart, my wife, Laureen, who has the word of the day and the topic. Hey, Laureen, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and I hope everyone out there is doing great, too. Our topic today is, do we truly know our best friend?
Oh, yeah.
1 John 1:3 and 6. What we have seen and ourselves heard, we are also telling you, so that you too may realize and enjoy fellowship as partners and partakers with us. And this fellowship that we have, which is a distinguishing mark of Christians, is with the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ, the Messiah. So if we say we are partakers together and enjoy fellowship with Him, when we live and move and are walking about in darkness, we are both speaking falsely and do not live and practice the truth which the gospel presents. Just have a question for you today. Do we know Jesus as our best friend? If everything was taken from you suddenly, or someone you loved died or betrayed you, would you feel hopeless and totally lost? Or would you feel secure in knowing that Jesus can be trusted and will bring you through? There is a huge difference in believing in God and having a relationship with Him. Taking the time to know His character and personality and walking with Him each day, fellowshipping with Him. And Tony has a little story to tell about our lives, why we learned this.
Isn't that the truth? Thanks, Lori. You know, many years ago, in the beginning, as they say, we wanted to go into business and be like everybody else. So we opened a restaurant, and we worked very diligently, very hard, put every cent we had into it. And we had advice from people, and we researched it, and we worked very hard. Like I say, 17 hours a day,
7 days
a week, right? Laureen and I ran the place. It was a hamburger, little restaurant, fast foods. Through that working and all, first Laureen got sick. I mean, day in and day out, getting up wee hours in the morning and coming back after midnight was stressful. And for two people to run an operation like that made it kind of tough. She got sick, left me with running the restaurant. Remember, we put everything we had into it, all our savings. We borrowed money. As time went by, I got sick. Standing at the grill and cooking, I ended up with what we call phlebitis. If you know what that is, it's blood clots in your veins, in your body. And I had 12 of them in my right leg, which literally brought me down and ended up in a hospital for 5 weeks. Being self-employed, didn't have any insurance. We lost the store. We lost all the money we put into it, including what we had borrowed. We also just about lost our lives. It was a tough go because nobody thought I was going to survive it, because a clot had broke away from the leg into my heart and then another one in my lungs. But I survived, and the doctor said, gee, most people younger than you, and I was 29, I think, something like that. He said, most people younger than you don't survive this. You did. What he didn't realize is I had a mother-in-law who had waited all this time to really get all her frustrations out on me. Well, so when I was sitting at the dinner table and I was keeling over and almost fell to the floor, good woman, bless her, thought I was choking. So she slapped me on the back a couple of times.
Oh, she really smacked you on the back.
Well,
thank God she did, otherwise it wouldn't have moved.
Believe me, I knew something was happening there, and they laid me down on the couch. Well, the reason I survived, the doctor said, more than likely was that she slapped me on the back, dislodging the clots from where they were in the heart and the lungs, and they kept going, not causing any damage, because I should have been dead by all counts.
God works in mysterious ways.
Doesn't he, though? It took a year to convalesce. I couldn't get back on my feet. Now, mind you, the money's gone, the business is gone, everything is gone. And here's the thing. Do you really, truly know who your best friends are? During this period of time, believe it or not, we had a big support network, supposedly, of friends and family. You would think you committed a crime. You would think we did the worst thing in the whole world. There were people who turned their backs on us like we were the lowest of the low. All we did was try to help ourselves, and we asked questions. As a matter of fact, as things got worse, we tried to get people who could help us in the family, but we were looked at like, oh, what you did, and shame on you. What shame? When you're trying, there is no shame. I don't care if you fail. And you know how I found this out? Years later, one of my bosses, when I was working at this place in Fort Lauderdale, I guess it was, I happened to relay the story of what was happening, and he said, so what? Well, almost knocked me to the floor. That was his attitude, and that's the attitude you need. So what? You tried. He said, hey, I've been there many times. I've lost it all several times. The point is that the surroundings we had weren't helping us at all the family, all the friends, all the money, all the expertise, none of it. But there was one person, and I say one person in Jesus Christ, who made sure that we were going through it at a pace that would help us recover. And we had to scrounge together whatever we could. We had no food for the table. But you know what? And you're going to think this is crazy, but we had enough to buy lentils. We had enough to buy peanuts. We had peanuts for dinner, maybe.
That
right?
was that was
peanuts
dinner.
For dinner. And I'm not
lentil
telling you
soup
this.
Was breakfast
lentil
and lunch.
soup. It's just like the Israelites. They're in the wilderness, and the manna's coming down, and they're complaining that it's manna, it's not steak, it's not this, it's not that. That sustained us. We did not starve. Everybody knew we needed a place to live. Did we get a place to live? No. We live with our in-laws a lot, but that, you know what happens there sometimes. That's not exactly a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but after a while, it doesn't work. We had a person come to us who was in a business next door from where we had the fast food, who offered us an apartment that she had that was empty, that was affordable to us at that time. So we had a place to stay. She came out of nowhere, never thinking it would be her. We didn't know her that well, but she came forward. My point here is, if you're looking toward everybody, every person you know and every person that you're related to, you're looking at the wrong person. You need to look at the person of Jesus Christ. He knows your needs, and when he says he loves you and he'll take care of you, he will. And this is why our whole show, our whole ministry is based on not waiting for the storms to pass, but to dance in the rain with Jesus as your umbrella, because he covered us so many times. Okay, here's another. During the same period of time, brand new car. That's what we had left, was a car. We didn't have the gas to put in the car, but that was beside the point. I get into a head-on collision almost, destroyed the car. And it was at an age where they didn't want to pay to fix it. Now I have no transportation. We were walking back and forth. You remember, up and down
trying
the
to
hill.
go shopping.
To try and go shopping with the little shopping cart, remember?
Oh, yes.
Now, here we are. We're walking down to the store with the little shopping cart and get our stuff and bring it back up home. We're on the second floor, and we have to carry everything up 2 flights of stairs, no elevators. We're out on Long Island, Long Island, right? But God, in all your tribulations, but God, I'm suffering, but God is there. Go ahead.
Luke 12:7. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not be struck with fear or seized with alarm. You are of greater worth than many flocks of sparrows. And believe me, when God is in control, He will give you everything you need. Now, you may not like what you get. It may not be a shiny new car, and it may not be steak on the table, but He will give you what you need. And if you thank Him for what He's giving you right now, He will increase it.
If you know the Rock of Ages, the Savior of this world from the beginning of time, then you're not going to fail. You're not going to fall. Out of the blue, we had somebody from our church offered us a car. I almost fell over. Okay, so used car, don't look so great, didn't have all the bells and whistles. Who cares?
It got us where we had to go.
4 tires, a steering wheel. It's fine. Here we go. We have the roof over our heads where we had none. We're being fed. We're doing fine in that regard. The transportation is back. Understand, God's not going to let you fall through a dark hole. He's the light. He's the light, and He's there shining your path. You have no idea. We're trying to tell you, we've been there, done that. Believe me, devastating. I was sick for a year. I mean, I still carry the same problem with my leg today, right? 45 years later, 40 years later.
When we fellowship with Him, this to me is so important because it reflects everything in our lives. When we fellowship with Him, He becomes our best friend, and we get closer to Him the way He intended it to be. And the best part of accepting His friendship is that He is with us wherever we go 24/7. And because of this, we may be rocked but not defeated. He cares about our every need, no matter how big or small. In fact, the small ones are more precious because it shows us He is a very personal God.
We're coming to an end here, and He is always with you, whether you see Him or not. Through His Holy Spirit, He will give you peace and give you everything you need through your trials. Don't think of the trials in the negative. So remember, but God makes all the difference. Laureen?
If you would like this message sent to you on a CD, for any donation, we will send you Do We Truly Know Our Best Friend? The offer is 13-016, emailing livingwithvictory@gmail.com.
Our announcer, Tim Hodges, will give our contact information. And this is Tony and Laureen Giorgio. Join us next week. And hey, tell your friends, and remember, Jesus is your umbrella.
You've been listening to Living with Victory with your hosts Tony and Laureen Giorgio, who for 30 years have advocated for seriously ill children through their foundation, Compassion for Kids. Many families who have children that receive daily treatments for their illnesses are extremely challenged to even begin to get their kids the life-saving treatments they need. Compassion for Kids is there to lend a hand. That is our mission, and you can become a partner in helping. Support for this radio ministry comes from Friends of Compassion and listeners like you. Your tax-deductible donations can be sent to Compassion for Kids, P.O. Box 1982, Maggie Valley, North Carolina, 28751. You can also donate through your PayPal account by logging on to livingwithvictory.org. Tony is available to speak to your group or church members. You can call him at 828-926-4600. Join us again next week at this time for another uplifting story of dancing in the rain. Thanks for listening.